known as the Tamil Elam. The LTTE is headed by its founder, Vellupillai Prabhakaran. The Tigers consider him their president. Prabhakaran is determined to fight this battle to the very end and has urged the Tamil diaspora to finance the guerrilla war. Some Tamils pay willingly, but others say they are obliged to pay. In Paris, many Tamil families and businessmen have fallen victim to an extortion racket run by organizations linked to the LTTE. Rakma is one of them. He is hesitant to show his face on camera but tells us how the racket works.
The LTTE is the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. They threaten us and force us to pay a revolutionary tax. In France, the Tamil Tigers call themselves the TCC, the Tamil Coordination Committee. It's a big fundraising racket. They demand €1 per day. Every Tamil family ends up paying 2,000 to 3,000 euros every year. You can pay it in 2 or 3 installments. A businessman has to pay at least 15,000 to 20,000 euros a year. They too can pay in 2 or 3 installments. The LTTE is like a sect. Once you get involved, there's no turning back. If you don't pay them, they threaten to kill you. They insult you and cause you many problems. They come to your house. They have keys to the building, like the postman. 2 or 3 men come. They say they're from the TCC and want to speak to you. If you let them enter, they tell you you haven't paid and coax you to contribute. I got into trouble when I refused to pay. 5 or 6 LTTE representatives attacked me. They were driving a foreign car. The car number plate wasn't French. They beat me until I was unconscious. They broke my leg.
Shop owners don't hesitate to publicly proclaim their support for the Tamil Tigers. Do you support the Tamil Tigers?
Yes, of course I do.
Some of them avoid answering our questions. They pretend not to understand. Shopkeepers are forced to pay money to send to Sri Lanka. Do you know anything about this?
I don't understand.
Do you know anything about this fundraising racket?
No, I don't speak French.
But it doesn't matter. Do you send money to Sri Lanka?
No, I don't.
But this man says that he recognizes LTTE representatives in Paris. But there are LTTE representatives in Paris.
Yes, there are. They're all over the world.
Do you know them?
Not personally, but I would recognize them if I saw them.
We make our way to the headquarters of the Tamil Coordination Committee, or TCC. Many victims accuse the association of extortion. They are expecting us. We film our arrival and a part of the interview with a hidden camera.
Hello, we've come to see Meta. Hello, we're looking for Meta.
The LTTE's flag and photos in the TCC's office hint to ties with the Tamil Tigers. LTTE leader Prabhakaran's effigy is removed to avoid being heavily associated with the Tigers. Mehta is TCC's manager. He will be responding to our questions. He speaks neither French nor English. 2 members from the organization will be translating.
We know the people in Sri Lanka are suffering. They are far away. It's our duty to help them. This has nothing to do with €1 per day. People pay money willingly to help victims of the civil war. People give what they want. They're not forced to pay. The money is for a humanitarian cause.
Could we say in the end that LTTE is the same as the TCC?
equal LTT என்று இருக்கு அப்படி சொல்லலாம்
இல்ல
TCC வந்து
தமிழ் முனைப்புகள் LTT ஒரு நாளும் இல்ல அப்படி இல்ல
No, never.
Despite the fact that you support the Tigers?
அவருக்கு ஆதரவு கொடுத்தாலே நாங்க LTT இல்லையோ
நாங்க LTT இல்ல நாங்க இந்த நாட்டின் சட்டத்துல பதிவு செய்த ஒரு TCC
We are not the LTTE. We are the TCC.
But what about these photos and the flag in the office?
That's the national flag for the Tamils.
Who is that?
We consider him our president.
But who is he?
He's the president of the Tigers.
So you deny links with the Tigers, but there are flags of the LTTE here.
TCC வந்து LTT TCC equal இல்லைன்னு சொல்றீங்க ஆனாலும் தலைவற்ற படத்தை இன்புட்
அவர் என்ன தலைவர் தமிழ் மக்களின் தலைவர் அப்பா தமிழ் மக்களின் தலைவர்
He's the president of the Tamil community.
You support the Tigers?
We are not the Tigers.
The Sri Lankan ambassador to France, Chitrangani Vagiswara, says that these organizations are a front for terrorists.
We feel that their propaganda, the political officers are generally coordinated from Paris. There are many organizations based here. Of course, they don't function as the organization for the Tamil Tigers. They have established different offices under different names, some operating as associations to promote Tamil culture, Tamil language, but we know very well that this is only a facade. They are involved in propaganda activities, political activities, fundraising. Fundraising is a big issue here because they collect funds mainly through extortion. Most of the Tamil the diaspora living here are held hostage by this movement because they are forced to contribute to the movement, and if they don't contribute, they are threatened, they are harassed.
The Tamil Tigers are notorious for their suicide attacks. The war between the LTTE and the Sri Lankan government has claimed at least 60,000 lives. In 2006, the European Union classified the LTTE as a terrorist organization. In the same year, French authorities say the Tamil Tigers raised at least €6 million through extortion in France.
And our correspondent Nandita Vij joins us now for comment on that story. Nandita, thanks for joining us. First of all, tell us how such a large Tamil community was drawn to France, of all places, in the first place.
Well, when the situation of the war started, it got worse in 1983, it began in 83. That's when these people started kind of fleeing Sri Lanka. And there were certain countries like France and Canada and even some of them even went to the United States and also the UK. And that's when a large part of them came to Sri Lanka, to France. And most of them have a refugee status here. And they've been here since 1983, and that's when the situation was getting worse.
Do you know if Tamil refugees in other countries where they received refugee status are also experiencing this kind of harassment, or is it specifically a French problem?
Well, in the UK, it's there. It exists in the UK, and there have been a lot of cases that have been reported in Canada, because there was a Human Rights Watch report that was released last year, which says that the Tamil community in Canada was being harassed, and that there was extortion that was going on by LTTE members. And like in France, that we just saw in the report, that there were associations linked to the Tamil Tigers who were fundraising.
So no matter how far away they think they're getting from the violence,
but they're really
the fear,
not far away. No,
fear and intimidation just follows them.
Yes.
Very sad. What is the rebels' rationale for harassing their own people? Are they simply that desperate for funding?
Well, it's funding as well. Yes, they're desperate for funding. But what they tell the Tamil diaspora is that you are abroad, you're in these countries because of us, and you owe it to us. So the least you can do is give money and kind of.
So they're saying you're lucky to have this. You're lucky to have this refugee status because of us, and you owe us.
According to what when you compare it to the life in Sri Lanka, you're leading a luxurious life, and you owe it to us. So the least you can do is contribute.
I'm curious, we brought up the 17 suspects that have been arrested in France. How do you know anything about how the legal procedures against them might proceed? Will there be witnesses willing to come forward and testify to the extortion and intimidation that they say they've experienced?
Well, the Tamil community here, and with all, considering all the witnesses and all the people whom I spoke to, there's this fear that has set in, and they feel that even though they're far away, their families, which are back in Sri Lanka, or even families here, could be, there is this threat and that they could be harmed. So it's, considering whether even there are witnesses that will speak, if they kind of do come out and they do testify, it's going to be completely anonymous, and because there is this fear that has set in their minds.
Okay, Nandita.